How's it, punters? Welcome back to the Best Sports Betting Podcast. I'm back from Germany. Simon's with me as always. I've got some crazy stories about my 48-hour transits. But yeah, Simon, how's things been going your side? How's things been going in South Africa?
Yeah, not too bad, Rob. Thank you. Yeah, we're having a bit of rain today, which is quite nice for a change. It's actually been drizzling the whole morning, which is it's actually I'm quite enjoying it. Just looking at the rains from our window while I work.
It's nice to have the rain. I saw quite a bit of rain when I was overseas, but not that much, not as much as that as we had today. But yeah, my transit. So I had a 48-hour. Well, anyway, it became 48 hours because I went to the. Got a message from the airport that in Germany that the workers are going on strike, and our flight is supposed to leave at 6 o'clock, and they're going on strike at 3 o'clock or something. So we need to come to the airport early, get checked in, go through security because it was the security guys that were going to be striking. So I get to the airport at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock or whatever it is, go through check in, go stand at security gates, and then I was there for the next 6 or 7 hours. 6 or 7 hours. I was just sitting in front of a security gate,
Wow.
waiting for guys to either strike or not strike. And they kept saying, "Hey, we're striking, but we might start working. Hey, we're working, or we might start striking." It was just all the other flights. I think at these airports throughout the country had all been cancelled except for this damn flight that I was supposed to be on. So I ended
Sure, that's
up
really unlucky.
someone passed out. Someone got in a fight. They had to call the police.
Oh my
It was
word.
it was it was just full of drama. And eventually at 9 o'clock at night, I got to the counter and I said, "Hey, you guys can rebook my tickets. Look, I'm not on a strict visa. I can fly out next week. I just need to be able to fly." And I don't want to fly tomorrow because then I'm going to have like a 13-hour layover if you put me on a flight tomorrow morning. So they're like, "No, you have to come back tomorrow morning." Not willing to help me. So then I had to fork out money for a hotel, which was I don't know, like 80 euros or something like that. And on top of that, there was another PCR test, which is 90. So just money is just flowing out for this damn flight. And yeah, eventually I had to take the flight. I had to sit in a 13-hour layover in Istanbul. It's not that much fun. But while I was there, some people randomly found me and they asked me to test out this 4D flight experience. And me being tired and bored, I'm like, sure, let's do it. And apparently, I was the first person to try it, and there was a whole lot of press there. There were cameras, there were TV crews, they were all going wild. They interviewed me afterwards. It was quite a weird
Yeah, I saw the
experience.
photographs.
Yeah,
That sounds amazing.
it was a very interesting experience, and I think there's some videos up on some Turkish news websites and stuff. But yeah, it ended up taking me close to 48 hours, which yeah, I'm not too happy about. I think I'm still recovering from that, which is why I've got some sniffles and whatnot today. But anyway,
Mm.
we had a break on the podcast last week with the sports. Not too much going on anyway. There hasn't been too much going on. So we can talk about some of the games from a couple of weeks ago, Simon. The
Mm.
Premier League. Not really too fresh in my memory, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, Arsenal Liverpool was the one we were all looking forward to, and it was quite an interesting match because it wasn't as evenly contested on the scoreboard as it was on the field. So if you looked at the results, Liverpool 2-0, you'll think, oh well, that kind of
Mm,
got the better of Arsenal, and it was actually really tight for a lot of the game.
it was.
I think the Gunners actually gave a very good account of themselves, especially in the first half. But unfortunately for Arsenal, the Liverpool midfield was given a bit too much freedom kind of later on to roam, and that kind of cost them dearly. So it was a good one to watch, and as I said, it was a lot more of an interesting match than the scoreboard kind of implied.
Yeah, I fancied Arsenal on the double chance in that one. Fortunately,
Mm.
that one didn't come through. But not too much else that I can remember from those couple of weeks back.
Yeah, I mean Spurs beat West Ham 3-1. That match obviously a bit of a London derby there, and then Arsenal on quite short rest after their very grueling match against
Oh, they
Liverpool. I
had Wolves,
suppose
eh?
they had Aston Villa,
Ah,
which I suppose not too surprising that they sort of just kind of got over the line there with a 1-0 win. As I said, after that quite grueling match against Liverpool. Then, yeah, Newcastle finally kind of hit a hurdle, losing 1-0 to Everton. And, that obviously had quite an impressive run, which you'd been profiting from rather nicely, Rob. But that came
excuse
to
me.
came to a close.
Oh, excuse me for the hay fever. Oh, whatever the heck is going on with my head at the moment. But yeah. So Newcastle's run, what's that, 2 losses in a row now. Everton, not the easiest side to kind of beat either, but also haven't had the best of fortunes recently. It's hard to look going forward. I think they've had their run. I think Newcastle have, they've gone through that run that they needed. So I might not be as bullish on them now as I was in the past.
Yeah, it was nice while the bookmakers hadn't really caught up to their odds. I think now kind of we know what to not know what to expect from them, and yeah, we'll see. I'll just be happy, to be honest, if they keep out of relegation and can just keep on building the team up, and obviously I think in a couple seasons they really could be quite competitive. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean it's more that they've had this incredible run of wins for me, and
Yeah.
they've been playing out of their socks. The new owners, new team members, all of that stuff, and I think we need to factor in or remove that factor moving forward. I think that's going to have less of an influence, in my opinion, at least.
Mm.
But they are playing Spurs on the weekend, and I actually do fancy Spurs there. But we'll get to that bit a little bit later. We had some Six Nations, well, the end of the Six Nations really.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I mean,
France picking up a solid win over England.
yeah, I mean that was the game everyone was looking at for a number of reasons. Obviously, it was on paper the best looking game, but also it had the most permutations for the tournament. So I was desperate for an England win over France, which didn't come to be because that would have catapulted Ireland to winning the cup. And I had them at 11-1. So yeah, I mean just looking at that game, that England certainly had their chances. But yeah, France always seem to just have another gear, and I think that they are actually very worthy champions after a 12-year wait for the trophy.
Yeah, yeah,
And
probably
I think
probably the best team in the world at the moment. So
absolutely, I think without a doubt, and I think this performance actually it really bodes well for when they host the World Cup next year in France in 2023. So I think they're really are finding form at the right time, and I must say, all in all, I really enjoyed the tournament. I was putting my outright bet in Ireland, didn't work out, but I mean, I certainly got good odds at 11-1.
you got good value for your bet there. Definitely, it was a good runner.
Outperform makers' expectations. I mean, even if it loses, you got to pat yourself on the back because betting isn't easy.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so it fell short, but I think it was a good side to be on overall.
And talking about upsets, not rugby wise, but Italy aren't going to the World Cup next year. Well, this year actually.
Yeah, what an absolute
Yeah, sorry, Simon, lost you there for a second, but
Eric, I think.
yeah, it was.
Um,
They lost. They ended up losing 1-0 away from home. Well, no, they were at home. So
I
yeah,
can't even remember who knocked them out now, but I did hear the news, which is just I suppose it's just a testament to just how unpredictable football can be, isn't it?
yeah, but it's very disappointing not to have the European champions
Yeah,
in the World
absolutely,
Cup.
absolutely.
And then South Africa versus Bangladesh, some cricket.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very up and down series. Look, we were obviously missing players from the Proteas squad because of the IPL. But I think this is something we have to get used to because obviously players choosing the IPL, over representing their country is not unusual, especially with the pay gap as big as it is. I mean, it's the amount of money you get paid to play in the IPL is just
Yeah,
too
it's not
hard.
even really
You can't
fair to
ignore it.
compare it. It's it's like getting
No,
paid or not getting paid almost.
yeah, so I think we need to get used to giving a lot of these other players, a run and really trying to build a sort of second team. I think that's really what it comes down to. But yeah, so the Proteas lost the last series.
Sorry, Simon, it's breaking up there again. The Proteas
Every
lost the
series was
last
kind of,
series.
I mean, it was
Yeah, sorry, the sound is
the last
cutting off.
match. Yeah,
Okay, the last
um,
match.
yeah. So they lost the last match after tying up the series 1-1 after the second match. It was a very mixed performance. I mean, especially in terms of the batting. But Rabada was probably the pick of the bowlers. So yeah, I don't not enough really you can take from that. I feel, but we start the first of two tests on Thursday against Bangladesh. We odds of 5-10 to win the first one, and I think look there are fewer players missing from our test side because of the IPL. So I mean Dean Elgar, who will captain the side, will still be without Rabada, Nkidi, and Janssen, who are obviously all pivotal in the approaches home series win over India a few months ago. So we'll see how that pans out. But I think we should be a little bit more stable in the test, but we'll see.
5 out of 10 is not a bad price, to be honest, against Bangladesh.
Hello.
Yeah, so I was saying 5 to 10 is not a bad price on South Africa to beat Bangladesh, especially with the talent that we have available to us. I think that might be one that I might get involved in, even though your money is going to get tied up for what could potentially be 5 days.
Hmm. No, sure, yeah, but I think I've got a feeling we'll look a little bit better in the test matches, but yeah, time will tell.
All right, then there was been a couple of races in the GP, some interesting results.
Yeah.
I think we can start off with the first one. Just a quick recap of that one, and then we can go to last weekend's one. But yeah, so far it's the Ferraris looking pretty good.
Yeah, well, I think it'd probably be a bit easier to kind of summarize them together, just in terms of this, because obviously there's only been two races so far. So, yeah, I mean, I'm obviously very excited for the start of the season. There are always a lot of regulatory changes to the rules and the car specs every year. Perhaps the biggest change is in the chassis design, which has allowed cars to kind of follow each other more closely, which has already led to a lot more overtaking than usual, which is really really cool from a viewer's perspective and just overall, from cars just being more competitive. I mean, I won't bore you with too many details, but basically, in the past you had a lot of what's called dirty air, which basically is the air that comes out from the back from the car in front of you, which messes with the sort of aerodynamic flow of your car. So it makes turning more difficult and so on. So, but as you mentioned earlier, the porpoising happens is happening as a result of this change as well. So although we're seeing less dirty air, which allows cars to follow more closely, what we're seeing on the other hand is porpoising, which is basically when the car becomes a bit bumpier on the track, and it obviously therefore loses grip and speed. So Mercedes have actually struggled with this more than any other of the top teams so far, which has definitely contributed somewhat to their fairly poor start to the season. So yeah, look, as you mentioned earlier, I mean, in terms of results, Ferrari has definitely been the standout car. Red Bull very, very close behind. I mean, to be honest, it's quite hard to separate them at the
Okay.
moment. But what we can see so far over both races is that Red Bull's slightly faster on the straights, which is pretty much exactly where they were last season. But the Ferrari is cornering a lot better. So we've seen some amazing duels already, both in Bahrain and in Saudi Arabia, between Charles Leclerc, who won the Bahrain race, the first race, and Max Verstappen, who won last week. It's just been incredible to watch these two, and you'll see them. I mean, the DRS is really making a big difference. It's making about a 9 kilometers an hour difference, which doesn't sound like a lot when you're talking about two cars going like 300 k's an hour. But believe me, it is.
Yeah,
It,
so
it does make
little
a
edges,
difference.
there's all those little edges that count.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I don't think Mercedes are out of the picture, but I must say they do have a lot of work to do already to catch up on Red Bull and Ferrari. I must say, after that first race, I thought, let's not get too excited. Like I think Mercedes are there, but I must say they looked even further behind in the second race. So they've got a lot of work to do. I must say they're going to need to sort out that porpoising on the car. It's making it wobble quite a bit. But I mean, I have a lot of faith in George Russell. I think he's going to be a good teammate for Hamilton. And I mean, he's already beaten him once. I think more than a few times he'll probably outperform Hamilton this season. So we'll see. But yeah, no race next weekend. So after back to back weekends in the Gulf and the desert, there's no race this weekend. So next weekend we'll go to Melbourne, which is actually where the season used to traditionally always start. But that's changed now. But yeah, so looking forward to another race. But we'll preview that obviously next week.
Okay, so your thoughts on Ferrari? Just is it just growing pains for the other two, or you reckon they're going to be
No,
hanging
no,
around?
I think they're certainly going to be hanging around. I mean, they definitely look like a contender. I mean, Charles Leclerc as well. He really is a fantastic driver. He's come from strength to strength. But I certainly wouldn't put Mr. Red Bull out of the picture either. Perez, I mean, he started on pole. Remember, we actually backed him in the first race in Bahrain. He started on pole in Saudi Arabia and didn't convert that. Didn't have a good race at
Oh,
all,
yeah.
actually. So I think that Red Bull are going to absolutely be there. And look, in 3 weeks' time, 4 weeks' time, we could be, we could forget all about that, and Mercedes could be right on top again. But I must say the struggles that Mercedes do look like they have, I don't think are going to be corrected overnight. I think it's going to take a while, and that gap between Mercedes and between Red Bull and Ferrari and Mercedes looks a little bigger than I thought it was after the first week. So I think they've got a lot of work to do, as I said.
I guess, but still worth backing. You reckon for podium places? What do you think? You think it's going to swing back to just Mercedes and Red Bull, like in a couple of weeks?
No, I think Ferrari are definitely going to be there. No, no,
Okay.
no doubt about it. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think to be honest, at this point, I would be a little bit surprised if we saw Mercedes ahead of Red Bull at the end of the season, ahead of Ferrari at the end of the season. But it is still very, very early days. There's 21 more races to
Yeah,
go.
still a
So
long time to go, but
let's not get too excited. But
yes.
the Mercedes mechanics and team are obviously they've got a lot of experience. So they're used to kind of resolving these problems. So we'll see what happens. But as it stands, there's quite a big gap at the moment.
Yeah, and at least we off to an exciting start to the season.
Absolutely, yeah,
But
100%.
let's jump over to some Premier League previews for this weekend. There's not really too much on the card that stands out to me. It's just we're coming off the international breaks where there's been a whole lot of African World Cup qualifiers in Africa. We've had some European. Obviously, all of those are going on at the moment. So these teams have been on a break for a while. We've got Liverpool taking on Watford. What else stands out to me here? Chelsea versus Brentford. Chelsea at 1.35 is very tempting. United versus Leicester. I think United are getting a bit too much. The odds are a little too short there. 1.53 to beat Leicester. Interesting one. West Ham Everton.
Yeah, look. I must say, I would love to say the EPL's back with a bang. I'm not,
No,
I'm not, I'm not that excited about most of these fixtures,
it's
to be
just
honest.
back. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, which ones stand out to you there, Simon? Not sure if you're still able to hear us. We seem to have lost
Keeping
you. Seem to have lost you for a bit there, Simon.
Okay, sorry. I'll just start again. I mean, I do like the look of that clash between United and Leicester City, and I think the reason that also might be quite a good one is that United are now going to be fully focused on the EPL after obviously being dumped out of the Champions League by. So I think it should be a good one. I'm actually not usually a fan of anytime goal scorer bets, but I think Ronaldo's kind of got that twinkle back in his eye. The odds aren't available as far as I've seen yet.
It's a brave man to take those kind of bets. Eh? Yeah, I can't.
I don't know.
I
I
can't
just think
back a goal scorer bet like that. Doesn't matter who it is. I've just been burned so many times.
Yeah. Well, you're going to get around evens for him to
Even
net
worse.
in
Even
this match.
worse. Even worse.
Yeah. But anyway, I got a sneaky suspicion there. But then yeah, otherwise Sunday Spurs host Newcastle. I mean Newcastle have a pretty poor record against Spurs. They've only won once in the last 5 matches. Spurs are actually kind of. I mean, they're only 3 points behind Arsenal now.
Yeah.
Kind of trying to jostle their way into the Champions League places. I mean, 3 points is quite a bit still, but yeah, I don't know. We've been burnt by this bet a few times, but I like both teams to score again in this one. I think the Tuna got the firepower to break through that defense, even playing away from home. So I think just slight odds against. I quite like that. And I think quite an interesting game actually is on Monday, which will be the last game of the game week when Palace host Arsenal.
Yes, I just took a
Palace
bet on that one.
Palace have only lost 3 of the last 15 matches. Can you believe that?
Yeah, they're pretty exceptional at home, to be honest.
They are. And I mean, odds are 1.78, and that's just on Betway. You might be able to find better odds elsewhere. On a double chance, I think looks pretty good.
I've gone the other way, Simon. I've gone with Arsenal double chance.
Okay.
Because I think the
Okay.
match is going to be a draw. So I see
Right.
this
Well,
one being a draw rather than
well,
Crystal Palace picking up a win.
yeah. Well, funny enough, I was looking at the odds of a draw, and 3.4 just wasn't quite big enough for me. I mean, that's pretty much stock standard odds on a draw, 3.4.
Yes.
24 to 10. So I was hoping for more sort of 3.7 around there, and I think a draw would have been.
Yes, it's losing you there, but what I've gone with is I've gone with Chelsea to win. I've gone with Spurs to win, and Arsenal to win or draw. That treble pays 2.69 over on Betway, or 2.67 with the little 3% win boost.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
pretty
but
decent odds.
that's about it.
Yeah, that's pretty
Nothing
much it.
too
We seem to be
exciting, I don't think, this week.
having a couple of connection issues this episode, but hopefully we can get those sorted out for the next one. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go with this week. That's probably going to be my best bet. It's pretty boring. Chelsea, Spurs, and Arsenal double chance. Simon fancies both teams to score with Spurs and Newcastle. Cristiano Ronaldo as anytime goal scorer for United against Leicester, and then he likes opposite of me. He likes Crystal Palace and draw when they take on Chelsea. So I think that's what we're going to call it, guys. Hopefully we pick up a few winners. It's going to be nice to have some Premier League football back, and we can then look ahead to some of the fixtures coming on after that. Maybe some more interesting ones. But yeah, guys, sorry for the gruffly voice. Bit of a flu cold thing going on, but yeah, hopefully it'll clear up soon, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.